What's up, guys? My name is David Sheep, and my hair looks like trash, so you're not seeing my face today. Lucky all of you. No, but I went to my locals, the one that's more competitive than the other. I got to come home for a weekend, so figured I might as well play some games. And I had a lot of fun playing with dinos today. There's a little bit of glare, so I apologize for that, but I can't really escape it. But I had a ton of fun playing dinos today. I came in third. It's not a that doesn't mean a lot. It wouldn't even really mean a lot if I come in first because my first round was a bye. My second round was against a pendulum magician, which was actually really interesting. I had practiced the matchup on accident the night before, um, and the next two rounds were against trickstars. As a matter of fact, um, is that how that went down? I'm pretty sure that's how that went down. Actually, yeah, no, it was the buy magicians then trick stars, and the magician player was good enough. He understood his deck, and he pulled off some stuff on me that I didn't entirely expect, but it was still like I figured out how to play most of these matchups, and in and I kind of figured that there's really only one deck that's out there right now that Dinos has a lot of trouble handling. Now, there's a fight with Trickstars and there's a fight with Magicians, but Magicians is very easily winnable if you're playing the correct build. And Trickstars, as long as they don't hit you with Draw Unlock, then you're fine. And that's a 3 of, that's non searchable, so, you know, that's just kind of up to luck. Now, granted, a lot of more competitive decks are going to be playing more hand traps, so this is only super viable in, I guess, more of a local level because this deck dies to Ash. It dies to, it doesn't really die to Reaper, but it dies to Ghost Ogre too. It has trouble there. So obviously, there's a reason this deck isn't on a YCS level. But I mean, if you're just sitting at your locals looking, hey, I want to play something stupid, Dinos is still a really good fucking option. And I'll just get into my build quick because it's not going to take too long. It's pretty standard, actually. There's not a whole lot that needs to be explained or gone through, except for Ulti Conductor. Hey, cat. There's a Babu. Ulti Conductor is absolutely one of the best monsters in the deck that helps you fight against everything else. And that is a wet cat. Here, come here. And you know, it's what allowed me to win against Trickstars. It's what allowed me to win against Pendulum Magicians. And the fact that we're getting a new boss monster that helps like it helps this guy stay on board in the long run. That to me is just so insane. Like being able to search out the double evolution pill to get this on board is crazy. One Dogoron, because this is actually more useful as a fire pop than anything else, than even as just a kaiju, because kaijus aren't like amazing right now, but it's still a thing that exists, and you know, you might as well play it. There's not really much better to play when it comes to this. Maybe I'll drop it for the other big dino that's coming out. I'll leave the computer alone at least. Playing 3 of the double Evo pill because it's just insane to be able to summon UTC from deck. Like, that's just absolutely insane. 3 of the Fossil Dig because, duh. You're going to want to search your 3 Overraptor, your 1 Misk, your 1 Giant Rex. There's nothing to question there. Your 3 Baby. I still play 1 Petite Pteranodon. I don't know if anyone else is. I haven't actually looked up a lot of deck profiles, or really even any, in, like, since I started playing the deck. Way before, like even before Link format. I've just kind of been figuring out what I think is best. And so far, this seems to be the best way to do this. This Petite only ever came up once, and it actually worked incredibly well for what I wanted it to do. It got me the monster that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. I don't know. It's still worth playing, in my opinion, even at 1. And 1 Jirac because synchros are good. Then I played 3 of the Fire True King, 2 of the Water, 2 of the Field Spell, and 3 Terraforming. If you have 3 Draconic Diagram, you know, play 3 of this, 2 of that. I think 5 is the best way to go because you almost always see it There's rarely a situation if you want to play 3 and 3, that's fine. Definitely you should be playing 3 and 3. I just don't have another Water Shuriken King, and it's good enough to play on a local level like this. But if like it would definitely be better to be playing 3 and 3 because seeing the field spell and this in hand is so unbelievably amazing. It's just it's so free for so much. I still play the one Gofu. It's free. It's free stuff, and I was playing post list. No one else was. I just wanted to. I made the deck and forgot that it only came in on Monday, and it's like, oh, we start in 5 minutes. I'm not gonna bother looking for my other two Gofu because it's honestly not incredibly essential. It's just a free decode talker. And like you might bait out a strike with this. I don't know. It didn't do me anything today because it was a one of in a deck that doesn't want one ofs very much. Two Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. It's a very good hand trap. I don't have any other real hand traps. I'm looking to get maybe some Veilers because that's pretty budget and really good. Veiler is, in my opinion, one of the best three among like in the top three hand traps right now. Like Ash, Droll Knock, or maybe Droll Knock, Ash, then this, and then Veiler, and then this, or Reaper. This is probably tied with Reaper for how good it is. I have this. I don't have any other hand traps. But this served a lot of good. I even used it as a normal summon tuner to get into something I'll show you later. But it did its work. It definitely did its work. 3 Twin Twister. It's kind of mandatory in this deck since you lose so heavily to back row. But it sucks because the deck that plays the most back row Paleo Frogs is the deck that is basically going to beat you no matter what you do, and it sucks ass. But you do what you can. Twin Twister, you kind of need it. It helped me against Trickstars. It's actually what won me my first game against Trickstars, because I went first and set this against him, and so I was able to hit his reincarnation at the end of the turn, which was really, really nice. And it just meant I was able to keep playing. So I think because Trickstar is so prevalent right now, at least in my locals, I don't know, I don't know how prevalent it's going to be on the competitive scene. I think Twin Twister is going to be really, really good. The only deck that it doesn't do anything against is Paleo Frogs. And it kind of does something against Paleo Frogs. You might like stop a summon, but it's not going to be even like, it's not even really going to decide how the turn goes against Paleo Frogs. That's how bad it is. Soul Charge, because, get it like fixing hands to get to even just a VFD would be decent, or like a Logi or something like that. It can fix your combos if you're going first, which you kind of want to in this deck. But Foolish Burial, Dark Hole, and Solemn Morning don't really need to be explained. I just don't have a Regeki, but honestly, if I had Regeki, I would be still playing Regeki and Dark Hole because more board wipes, and Dark Hole is decent for like popping your babies. Like if you have a really weird first turn hand where you have like a baby, and a Dark Hole and maybe something else. Like I've had hands where that like turns into an actual play, which is really fucking weird, but it happens. And yeah, there's not really a whole hell of a lot to be said. I still have an extra deck to go through though. My side deck was not impactful at all. And I had 2 wins, 1 loss, and a bye. So not much to be said there. True King, Enter Blathmir, didn't use it. Didn't use. Logia. The deck is kind of a bit of a Logia stun. Like if you can get out Logia in UTC, that's a pretty damn good board. VFD still shits on a lot of stuff. It shits on Trickstars. It shits on Pendulum Magicians to an extent. This really shits on Pendulum Magicians. So it's all kind of based on what kind of matchups you're expecting. If you're expecting Paleo, God, I don't even know what to tell you. Like that's just a matchup I don't understand yet. I mean, maybe you can like side Denko, but that's kind of just generically known. Trishula, so you can do VFD plays. This is kind of like a pseudo Trishula. Every now and then it comes up where like you have Dogoron on your board. Like this has happened before. Like I have a Dogoron on my board and an Aleo, and like weird shit happens. So like I would rather play this and a Trishula rather than just 2 Trishula. Yazi. Shambara came in pretty clutch today because it puts a lot of damage on board and it can make for some pretty like big push boards, but it's very easy to overextend with Shambara. Like you really have to know that like I'm not at risk if I do this. This has to win you the game. And it did that for me once. There was one time where I used it and pushed within 800 and then I misplayed and for I used this to attack instead of UTC, which was really fucking stupid. But this would have won me 2 games if I was not me. Yazi did come up and it basically turned it into a bit of UTC. Like I got this on board, popped one of their monsters, summoned a Barastos. I already had a UTC on board. And so what I did was essentially I waited until the end of their turn because they had really no presence. And so if they were able to develop any, which they tried to, I stopped it with a UTC, popped the Barastos, summoned a Agnimazot in defense mode, the last one in my deck too, which is clutch. And then I switched the Agnimazon to attack mode the next turn, and then that was just enough for game. So Yazi, I think, is definitely still very worth playing. For Lynx, I play this. This never came up. It's not worth playing, especially like except for the fact that like Gofu, like if you play the one Gofu coming up, that's meh. You can play the Proxy Dragon, but like you don't really. I don't know. I don't know what else I want to play in my extra deck anyway. So like if I find something that I really want in my extra deck, then I'll take this out and I'll take out the Gofu and put something else in. But meh. I put this in afterwards because I realized how many combos would benefit from having this in. I never had this. It never really would have even come up today specifically, but there are still other combos that exist. And they're really good combos made from like semi-normal hands. It makes your semi-normal hands very normal hands. So that's definitely useful. You should this should definitely be played. I don't know why I wasn't before. And then Decode Talker. For like the main 4-card combo, where you wind up with Decode Talker, VFD, and Logia, which is just like, what are you going to do against that? Honest to God, what are you going to do against that? And so yeah, that was Dinos. My side deck really didn't make any kind of difference. I thought I forgot that Lancia was only on your opponent's turn, and this is like the only fucking card I sided in. Sanctum and Scythe, but I never sided in Scythe. You know, you gotta have the money to play the game right now, and I don't know, I just don't. So I play fun shit, and Dinos is definitely still very playable if you're looking to dig around, and I would heavily recommend it to anyone who had and was looking for a reason to still play it, or to anyone who's looking to pick it up. It's definitely worthwhile just for fun. It's not too expensive. Like each of the True Kings is like maybe $1 now. Draconic Diagram, I think, is like 25, so it's definitely more accessible than it used to be. And you really only need one. You run 3 terraformings and a set rotation, and then you play Lost World and something else. That would be just as easily workable. The goal is just to like have a field spell and a True King in hand, and that's going to get you some stuff. That's going to get you some stuff, and you're going to have a fun time. So I would pick it up. But anyway, thanks you so much for watching. I will talk to you guys later.